Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to show you for the first time my LG C1 WRGB OLED side by side with my new Samsung S95C QD OLED. Can my LG C1, after 2 years of calibration and going to the service menu, tweaking everything, removing all the dimming, getting all the colors, the contrast, and the HDR impact that we can, tweaking the game settings to the maximum, okay, to get the best picture quality. Can my LG C1 WRGB OLED compete with the Samsung S95C QD OLED? Well, let me tell you this. It is going to be a bloodbath. Okay? And let me start by saying that every time you watch a comparison like this on YouTube, you have to 100% rely on the creators' comments. Okay, what they are telling you. If you trust them, if you believe what they are telling you. Because for example, right now, look at this. My LG C1 looks like it has as much black level rays under lighting conditions than the S95C. Have you ever seen that? Because normally, when a reviewer shows you side by side these LG OLEDs that have no MLA, so MLA has raised blacks under lighting conditions like QDOLEDs, but these LG OLEDs that don't have MLA, they look significantly better when it comes to the screen coating and how black they look. It's like a black hole. It's just so much better. It is probably one of my favorite things about this LG C1. So we know that they do not look like this. Like you are seeing it on this video right now. They look equally as bad. Okay? And that's not the reality. It is because the lighting conditions that I set and my camera settings, okay? The LG C1 is reflecting this carpet here. And that's why it looks like that. And the light is also very close to the LG C1 in comparison with this QD OLED, this S95C. Now, under these lighting conditions, you have no perfect blacks no matter what the screen coating. So for picture quality, you definitely need to turn off all the lights. That's for sure. But what I'm saying right now is that you have to rely on my description to tell you, with the best of my abilities, what I see. Okay? And I will try my best. So what I did for this comparison is I tweaked the settings of the game so the max CLL, the peak brightness that the game is trying to output, is ideal for each TV. Okay? So this picture right here is perfectly in tune for the tone mapping of my LG C1. Right now, HGIG. And this one right here is perfect for the S95C. So now they look terrible on camera right now. I have to change the camera settings so you can actually see the brightness difference and you can see the colors and it doesn't look blown out. So I'm showing you this difference like that so you understand that it is all about what my camera can show you. Now, what can my camera show you very clear? The difference in brightness. That is something that you can definitely notice on a video. of course, a little bit of the difference in the color saturation. For the most part, you have to rely on my description. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be more quiet behind the camera so I can change the settings for each picture, so I can try to show you each example the best my camera can capture that. Because if I just leave one setting, then one picture is going to look blown out. If it's a darker scene, it's going to look crushed. So there's no way I can show you everything. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me go behind the camera and we're going to go through several examples of different games, and each of the examples are set for the TVs. And I'm gonna show you the TV settings. Before I go there, let me change the camera settings for a moment, and I'm gonna show you each TV settings. Okay, so you should be able to see it better now. So I'm gonna show you the LG C1 settings. So if you have one, you can give them a try. These are the settings I use for native HDR, gaming, HGIG, color depth 55, color gamut on auto, warm 50, and these 2 points calibration settings. Why I use that? I like to reduce the blue lights. So this is not necessarily accurate, but actually it is so similar to the S95C. On camera, the QDOLEDs are going to look like magenta, and these WRGB OLEDs are going to look like green, bluish in comparison. Okay, but in person they look almost exactly the same when it comes to this. It looked very, very, very similar. So I think I did a very good job here. Not that I'm changing dramatically what's going on. Okay, so that's the LG C1. Now I'm gonna show you the S95C. I've changed the settings a little bit since last time when I showed you, because actually I was very impressed with the S95C colors, and I wasn't even getting all the colors that are possible on this TV. So I'm gonna show you what I have right now. Colors on 18. I have PC mode, the tone mapping static, no contrast enhancer, warm 2, ST2084 in -2. Now, why I lowered this, it is not to give the C1 a better chance. Actually, when I put them side by side, in some examples where you shouldn't be able to see that big of a difference because it is more of a mid-tones example, you don't have a lot of highlights or a lot of wild colors. The S95C was looking a little bit washed out, in my opinion, a little bit too bright. So to get the same depth that I'm getting with my LG C1, I lowered this. Now, what's happening is that the S95C has a higher brightness when it is full screen. So it has more brightness power, so that's maybe why. But I don't believe so. I think this is better, but it might be -1. But right now for this comparison, I think I'm liking it a -2. So I'll test it more, but that's what I'm going with right now. These are not accurate settings, none of that. Shadow detail the same. I think it was too bright near black, but not the very bottom of the grayscale. It is too bright near black, a little after that, basically. So near black, the C1 is actually brighter at the very beginning, and this one is darker, but then after that, this one becomes a lot brighter, and the C1 keeps that ramp. So yeah, I reduced this -2. I think it was too much because I was getting the near black way too dark. But yeah, I think I like it more like that basically for this comparison. But this does, again, these are not accurate settings or final settings, none of that. This is what I'm using right now. So then on the previous video, I thought that native here was already VT2020 because you're definitely getting a much more colorful picture in comparison, but actually not. When you set this to custom and then you come here and VT2020, you get brighter colors. Especially I was able to see it on the yellow colors. They are significantly brighter, especially with the test pattern that I'm going to show you in this video. So yeah, VT2020 seems to be the way to go. And again, this color, I had it set to 16 because I didn't want to get any clipping, but the C1 in comparison was a little bit more saturated, not at the brightest color, at the brighter colors. On the colors that are like midway. See? Because at the brightest colors, the QDOLED is gonna be brighter, and we all know that. It's more saturated. But comparing it with the C1 side by side, I had to increase it a little bit because 16, so the C1 was more saturated, and I didn't want to show you that because that would be misleading. That's not the case. The QDOLED gets brighter, more saturated colors, and we all know that. So that's why I had to increase that versus what I showed you on the previous video. So let's take a look at these examples right here. So let me go and make sure that the camera settings are right. Let me go to another picture. Let's go and see these yellow colors. I like this game. This is high